Yes, it's me, and joining me here in the studio this afternoon, Verity Edwards, Director of Media and Communications with Business SA. Thanks for coming in, Verity.
Thanks, Narelle.
It's nice to be face to face. Melissa Brown, who is from the Menindee Water Run, a volunteer on that. Just getting nice and close to the microphone, Melissa. Sorry, that's my bad. I should have told you. How are you?
I'm good.
Has there been a run to Menindee?
Not recently. We're actually planning a run up to some farms in South Australia on the 28th. So
28th of September. Okay.
Yes, that weekend.
Yeah.
We're going to be visiting farmers and delivering some gift baskets. So, yeah.
Oh,
and then we're going to
you.
stop in through Menindee after that.
You do great work. And also Dr. Chris Moy from the AMA. Thank you for coming in too.
It's great to see you again.
We haven't spoken for such a long time, have we, Chris?
Well, I haven't caused too much trouble, I hope. So that's
No, no, I don't think that's it. Well, we've got a few sort of fluffy, if you like, topics today. We're going to start with Verity. I've been asking people to let me know about their experiences with pocket money. So that either means what you got or what your kids get or the little people in your life. Verity Edwards, did you receive pocket money?
No, no.
It's a scandal.
No, but I had my first job when I was quite young, and I think I must have been about 10, and my brother and I would deliver the messenger. So,
oh, good grief. That must have been hard work.
It was really hard work. So my mum would sit at home on a Wednesday and she would spend 2 or 3 hours wrapping them for us. And then it would take my brother and I 2 or 3 hours to deliver them. So we're talking between the three of us 5 to 6 hours work, and we got paid $5 a week between us. So I hope their rates have gone up.
I had a friend who did the messenger and the whole family had to pitch in.
Oh, it was a massive job.
Yeah, yeah.
Massive job for not much reward. And then I went on to... So I think my destiny was set, and it was supposed to be in newspapers and the media, because I went on to collecting the paper money, door-to-door collecting paper money from people.
Oh, was that more lucrative?
It was. You'd get 4% of what you collected. So if you had a really good round and collected $400-500 worth of money each week, you'd get a decent amount.
Yeah. Which
was quite good. But I look back at that now and think at 12 or 13, there's no way I'd want my son walking the streets or riding his bike around with a couple of $100 in a little leather pouch.
I know. Melissa Brown from the Menindee Water Run, did you get pocket money as a kid?
No.
We detect an accent.
Yes.
So what's your home country?
The United States. I'm from Georgia originally. So.
And pocket money's not a thing in Georgia or just in your family?
Not back in the 70s. No, like Verity, we didn't. We had to do chores and we did not get paid. And I had a job when I was younger as well, so... but no pocket money.
No pocket money. And
No.
do you have young people in your life?
I do,
and
they don't have any pocket money either because we don't have cash generally. So, and anyway, we reward them in other ways.
And that's the main thing, isn't it? You can send me texts during this discussion on 0467 922 783. Dr. Chris Moy, pocket money?
Yes, I did, and I kind of wish my parents hadn't, because I used to spend it on shocking things like chip botties at the canteen.
Hot chip sandwich.
Yeah, that's a delicacy, really, that sort of thing. So no, it wasn't, and I have to admit it now because I'm the AMA president, that really wasn't the best sort of diet to be subsisting on in school. So no, I kind of wish they hadn't. So
yeah, well, it's funny you should say that, because I remember thinking, when I was at high school, I could survive on $1 a day because minimum chips was like 70 cents, and I thought I'll just eat that. That'll be fine. That will get me through the whole day. Tub of lard sitting in the stomach. But I'm pleased to know that you like a chip butty.
Yeah. But luckily not so much now. But
and I don't know your situation either. Do you have children? And do they?
Yes, I do. I have quite old children, 18 and 21 now. So
did they get pocket money?
Yeah,
I hope they don't still get pocket money.
Well, yeah, we do assist them, but yeah, we've tried all the different methods of trying to tie it to some sort of activity and some responsibility. But I've got to say, we're really terrible with regards to that, not being able to hold them to that. There hasn't been a quid pro quo, but having said that, I think they'd be really good kids, so we can't fault them.
Yeah. My sister was the the brains in our outfit, and she's a bit older than me, and she worked out what we would get. We were living in Mount Gambier at the time, and she came up, we'd do this job and that would be worth 5 cents, and she came up with 75 cents, and I think my lovely mum said, well, I'll give you, if you do all of that, I'll give you $1 a week. And I don't think we did very much of it after the first couple of weeks. But Mum still came through with the goods and gave us pocket money, bless her. Isn't it?
It's nice.
Mums are great. Okay, we've got the One Night Stand concert happening in Lucendale this weekend. We're expecting 20,000 people at that event. Melissa Brown from the Menindee Water Run, best concert you've ever been to?
Oh, well, the best would be probably Lady Gaga back in Sydney a few years ago. My second best would be the Tina Turner show at the Menindee, where they had this Dancing on the Darling festival a few months ago. And this guy, William Maffey, yes,
as Tina Turner.
Tina. Yeah,
fantastic.
It was just electrifying.
He did do a great job. I remember them talking about. I remember ABC Broken Hill talking about that. It was a great
amazing
concert, I believe. Yeah. Dr. Chris Moy, do you get out to many concerts?
Yeah, I'm not a big. But look, I'll admit something. Taylor Swift was fantastic.
Did you see Taylor Swift?
Yeah, I went there. I went to the 1989. I've lost it.
1989 was the name of the album. Yes.
Yes, I went to that concert and. It was fantastic, mind you. There weren't many fathers around, so I had my daughter there. They were all sort of waving their little sparklers, and I was sitting there rather sort of awkward. But it was fantastic. I've really got to admit, she was fantastic. Great
performer. Was that in Adelaide?
Yeah, that was in Adelaide.
I remember that. That was only a few years ago, wasn't
Shake It Off was fantastic.
Yeah, my kids still love that. I've got one of the first songs that my 2-year-old asked for was, and she used to do the hand movements and just go shake osh. And we'd have to put it on the telly for her. Taylor Swift. Yeah. Did you buy a T-shirt? Did they sell them in your size?
I have a T-shirt, I must admit. So I'm not going to be wearing it out here. It'll be a home T-shirt.
What colour is the T-shirt?
Oh, no, it's a blue T-shirt.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I love how you got caught up in it.
You've got to live life and just go enjoy what you like.
Oh, I would love to see you in your Taylor Swift T-shirt.
No, please don't.
Verity Edwards from Business SA, your best concert experience?
Robbie Williams, 2006 at Footy Park. I've seen him 3 times now, but that one was, there was a full moon and it was a hot night, and Australia had won the Ashes, or won a cricket test or something against England. In the last few minutes, we were delaying going to the concert, and he was sitting in his hotel room watching the cricket. And someone had been attacked by a shark that day. And
in Adelaide? In Adelaide.
Or there'd been shark sightings or something.
Oh, no.
And he saw it on TV and he said, oh, you Australians are crazy. They say there's a shark out there and they bring you in, and 5 minutes later you're back in the water and no one seems to be afraid. And he was on something that night, but it was it was a lot of fun. And the other one that I'd talk about is my first concert ever was the Cockroaches in 1927, and the Cockroaches went on to become the Wiggles.
They did too, didn't they?
There'd theatre in the late 80s.
And I reckon they did a stint on some cruise ships also. As
the low before the high.
As the Cockroaches, and then came back and just made more money than anybody.
It's frightening how much money they've made.
Yeah, but doing the children's thing. Mm-hmm. So did you get a T-shirt from Robbie Williams?
I did. I joined as a member so I could get early tickets. I joined the Robbie Williams fan club so that we could get priority early tickets, and it worked. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I love him. I think he's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Did you get a T-shirt from your concert experience too, Melissa?
Yes,
you did.
I did.
I think you've got to have the T-shirt, don't you?
Yeah.
My mum has been to see Madonna. My dad was a police officer. He got to do an exchange overseas, and so she was backstage at a Madonna concert because they were talking to him about the types of security that they do for someone like that. So they were invited to attend, and she said she was about arm's length from Madonna. She's lived a great life. We haven't got anywhere near it, but I hope that there's still time for me.
Wow.
You're on ABC Radio, South Australia and Broken Hill. This is our Chew the Fact Friday panel. This will be an interesting question for you, Dr. Chris Moy. Would you donate your body to science? We were talking about this earlier in the week. I got a question from a listener.
Look, I would suggest it's a good idea. I have no problem with it myself. I'm not sure whether my wife would be so happy about it, interestingly, but I myself would be fine. I mean, and certainly it's definitely in the vein of organ donation, which I would strongly support, and the Australian Medical Association supports. Really, from my point of view, my soul is gone at that point, and to be of use in another way would be a positive thing, I think.
It is hard on the family, though, isn't it, to think that they will not be able to have access to your remains for a few years while your body's being used for science.
I think the thing to do, I mean, much like organ donation, and I think it's probably my area of work, the thing to do is to have the discussion beforehand. And I think for me, I do a lot of end-of-life work, and I think one of the things that I think is that the legacy you live is going to be in the hearts that you've affected and the love that you've given or been received, and really the body doesn't matter so much then. So for me, that's the way I would be thinking about it. And if you can be of use in another way, isn't that wonderful?
I have heard that the medical profession treats remains with a really high level of respect.
And you must. You must. And I think that's, again, obviously as much because today I had to certify somebody who'd passed away, and you really do need to do it with properly and with respect, and as much for that individual, but also for the family who are going to be around you afterwards. So it's really important.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? That is Dr. Chris Moy from the AMA. Verity Edwards, is it something that you've given much consideration to, whether or not you would donate your body to science?
I think when I got my driver's licence however many years ago, I think I ticked organ donor then and still am, because I think if you're not using it, if someone else can benefit from something, whether you can donate something or help a cause, I'm all for helping whoever's left. So, and you hear wonderful stories about people that can see because they've had a cornea donated or something, and you think, how can that help someone, and how good would it be to leave a legacy?
It's Melissa Brown.
Absolutely. I'm with Verity. I'm an organ donor as well. I have it listed on my driver's license. So, I would do it. If it can help someone else or help researchers, no problem with it.
Well, this is going to change the mood somewhat. We have had a text message through. This is in relation to our earlier discussion on pocket money, but Peter's saying he was 7 years old in the UK and he used to get halfpenny for a big bucket of cow dung from the field next door for the veggie patch, and later threepence a week if he washed up every night. That was hard labour with a family of 8. I bet it was too, Peter. And Muzz is saying on the topic of organ donation, he wouldn't donate because he can't stand rejection. 0467 922 783. I suppose you have to be quite fussy, Dr. Chris Moy, about what organs can be used or bodies that can be used.
Well, they certainly have to be compatible. They have to be in a reasonable state. There are some organs which are less problematic as far as that's concerned. Things like corneas can still be used from individuals who are really quite maybe elderly, for example, whereas other organs, for example, kidneys, for example, really do have a lifespan. They tend to deteriorate over time, so they're going to be more useful the younger you are. So yes, organs need to be in a reasonable state. You're not going to take a liver, for example, of somebody who's got a heavy drinker and has really caused cirrhosis of their liver. So they do need to be in a reasonable state.
I would imagine, and Mars, I feel for you there. I'm wondering too if I'll be of any good to anybody. Does eating insects appeal to you? I'm going to start with you, Verity Edwards, something we've been discussing. Met an insect farmer from Loxton earlier this week. Got a shipping container making crickets for cricket flour, cricket pasta.
Oh, look, in a form like that, not a problem whatsoever. You don't even know what you're eating half the time. If it was deep fried and crunchy, I'd give it a go. I think I'd give it a go. I'll try anything. I grew up with a nana who used to cook sheep's brains in a nice white sauce, and I wouldn't go at it now, but I had no problems when I was young, so I'd try anything.
Melissa?
Yeah, I would give it a go. I mean, like Verity said, we do eat insect parts anyway. It comes in cereal and flour and grains, so deep fried, covered in chocolate, something like that. Yes, definitely.
As long as you can't see it too
Yes,
much.
if
I think that is a barrier for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Dr. Chris Moy, you might even be able to tell us that there are some health benefits to eating insects. I don't know.
No, I'm not going to tell you that there are any health benefits. I'm not a big fan. I went to one of the really posh restaurants in Rundle Street. I think it's around here. But we had a funny night where we were eating fried ants in lime sauce, watching the zombie march walk by one day. And I was thinking, this is not right. We were paying a lot of money for it too. So no, I don't really need it.
No.
The whole formic acid thing, I'm not really tasted formic. That's what ants are famous for, the formic acid. I think we were supposed to be excited about the taste, but no, I wasn't.
It didn't. It wasn't
good.
Something that you would, what did I eat? A mealworm and a cricket. And, it's not something I'd line up for again. If I had to, in a different form because we were running out of food, sure. Lucky Charms. Do you have a Lucky Charm, Melissa Brown?
No, actually.
Or a superstition?
No superstitions. We were talking about this on the ride over. Lucky Charms. In America, we have this really bad sugary cereal called Lucky Charms, and that's about the only Lucky Charms that I like. So, or have. So
no rabbit's foot or anything like that. Dr. Chris Moy, Lucky Charms?
Oh, not really. The only thing I do have is a bit sort of superstitious is if I'm having a stressful meeting, if I got the opportunity, I take off my shoes. I just prefer to be in socks. And people don't notice it usually because there's usually a table. I just feel stressed with my shoes and shoes on. So it's a bit odd, but yeah. It's something that people haven't noticed. People don't look at your shoes. If you ever notice,
No.
people don't bother looking. So if you're in a meeting and you've got your shoes off, people don't look.
Fantastic. Well, that's a good tip. Verity Edwards, have you got a lucky charm or a superstition?
No, I don't, because I think if I had a lucky charm and said, well, this team's going to win the AFL Grand Final because I've got my lucky charm today, I doubt they're sitting in their change rooms thinking, oh, she's got her lucky charm, we're going to play harder today, or oh, we're not going to lose because she's left it at home. But I do have a son that likes to wear certain socks for certain events.
Sports?
Yeah, for certain sports that he does.
Okay.
So I don't know why. I think he just feels lucky in them.
Yes.
But I think it all just comes down to what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to stay with you, Verity. Don Pike has resigned. Have you got an idea for who should coach the Crows?
I do, and I thought really hard about this.
Did you?
Yes. Now, tongue in cheek, so no offence to this person, Peter Malinauskas.
Oh!
And the reason why I thought Peter Malinauskas, so bear with me, is that, yes, opposition leader, he plays football, not at that level, lower level, so he understands playing at a lower level. So that's the first point. Second point is there'll be no pressure on him to win a premiership for the next 3 years.
Ah, okay. Are you a Crows fan?
No, I'm a Power fan, so that's why.
Clearly. Melissa Brown.
I have no idea.
Okay. No, and that's fair enough. I know I was like, I don't know. Dr. Chris Moy.
Yeah, I'm a Crow supporter, so I'll be watching the soap opera. Look, I probably prefer not somebody who's another Crow. Too many Crows in there actually managing the place, so that's probably the first thing. But I just want them to have somebody that lets them play with some fun. I don't think they've played for fun for so long now. It's time. It's only a game.
Yeah, a bit of success. And I was going to ask you all, I'm going to stay with you, Dr. Chris Moy, about the Ashes. Most impressive thing about the Ashes series?
Well, it is Steve Smith batting, but I would say he has significantly reduced the productivity of the Australian workforce by batting so late into the night, and I think that's my only concern, and I'm worried about the road accidents that he may have caused because of it.
Well,
because I think a lot of people have been surviving on very little sleep.
I think they have. Melissa Brown, cricket your thing?
No.
Baseball?
Baseball is.
Baseball is more your thing?
Similar, but yeah.
Okay. Well, and Verity Edwards. Did you watch the Ashes?
Oh, look, we've watched bits of it because we're a sporty household, but Steve Smith torments me because I think he only had a short ban and there's redemption in there, and yes, we need him to win and that sort of thing, but I think he still cheated and he was still the captain, and I'm torn over whether he should be playing or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't have. We keep saying he didn't have the sandpaper in his hand.
But he was the captain, and in cricket, it's such an essential thing.
Chris?
Look, I think he actually did his time considering his role in it relative. I think his role was relatively small. Obviously, he had ultimate responsibility, but I do feel slightly sorry for him. But as I said, I think let's just have some fun now. It's still a game. So
it has been lovely having you in. Verity Edwards from Business SA, Melissa Brown and Dr. Chris Moy.